Hello everyone. Um, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of the video, we had to, unfortunately, lay our sweet baby Norm to rest. I'm going to try to keep this video as cut-free as possible, try to keep it as raw and real. And I honestly don't know why I'm making this. I think a big reason is because I feel like Norma's story should be told. And maybe someone out there can relate and get to our discussion about pet loss. But let's start from the beginning, and we'll save the sad stuff for the end. Norm here, we got her in 2015, around Christmas time for my birthday. Originally, she was going to be our first cat around August or September, August, October, around there. My mind's fuzzy right now. But my mom adopted Mona, which was our first cat, a little calico, pretty little creature. But Mom thought that she needed a friend, and what better way to get a friend than what better way to get a friend and for me to get a birthday present at the same time. So we went to PetSmart where she got Mona, and Norma was there. And originally she was going to pick Norma the first time, like I said, but then went with Mona first. I'm going in circles. Anyway, Norma was not going to be my pick. I was actually going to pick a very fluffy cat that was there. So in the little area where they let you pet the cats and talk to them and see how they are, they brought out both Norma and the cat. This big hairy cat. And Norma was small, man, like tiny, and very skittish, very shy. And at one point, the two cats started, sniffing each other, and that big cat swatted at Norma, like pretty hard. And the PetSmart employee was kind of shocked. And Norma climbed up my pants legs, got into my lap, and tried to hide from the big cat using me. And right away I knew I had to get her. So we took her home. Come to find out, she had a upper respiratory infection, which we finally cleared, and the doctor told us that she would have chronic sinuses into her entire life, which she did. She sneezed a lot. Norma was the only cat I've ever seen ever actually have sympathy for anyone. Like, if she saw me upset right now and saw me crying, she would jump in my lap and pat my paw, or use her paw and pat my hand, and try to cheer me up. She would offer herself for pets because she thought that's the only way she thought to cheer you up. But on the flip side, she constantly begged for pets. She constantly begged for attention and affection, even though you gave her plenty of it. I mean, you could pet her for 3 hours straight and she would still keep begging you for pets. This sweet little thing just always wanted someone to pet her. Damn. And I took her kindness for granted. There were some times when as a pet owner, I made mistakes, and she always forgave me. She always came back in my lap and wanted more pets. She was just so sweet, just the nicest cat. She was just too nice for this world. I mean, she was like a baby just like a toddler, always just looking for affection, always looking for. But oh my God, this is so hard. So that's Norma, and let's go ahead and jump into the downfall. So I hate to admit this, but around the beginning of the year, January, February, March, around there, we fed the cats, we took care of them, but we weren't really paying attention to Norma's behavior. And we started noticing around the end of March, maybe early April, that she was becoming very distant from us. Like she would hide in my daughter's room, and she would just, try to stay hidden, try to hide. And I knew that was a warning sign, but I didn't see anything physically wrong with her at the time. So I just used the better judgment of we'll see how it goes. And 2 weeks ago, we saw her sitting on my daughter's dresser, and there was just like this brown smear stuff all over the top of it. And I originally thought that was like anal discharge. And I thought, okay, well, we can go to the vet. We can schedule a vet appointment and get that situated. Ain't no biggie. It's not a big problem. Uh, so I planned the next morning to call. And the next morning I woke up, I noticed that she was drooling. And that brown stuff was coming out of her mouth. So I knew right then it was kind of urgent. So I called. We called me, Mom. We got in touch with the vet. And they fit us in that day. And yeah, the vet took a look at her mouth and all over. And one, she had a flea problem. She's always had fleas. We tried our best to keep up with that. But her teeth are fine, so no gingivitis. Her gums are fine. But the vet didn't notice that her tongue was very swollen. And we just gave her a shot of steroids and said, in a couple of days, if it hadn't gone down, call us back. Over the next couple of days, she seemed distant, but this time she picked the living room. More specifically, she picked the cat carrier that we used to take her to the vet, because the cat carrier had a bed in it and a blanket, and she always stayed in that. She would come out occasionally for pets and whatnot. At one point, though, towards the day mark, I opened her mouth and noticed that the swelling hadn't gone down. So I called and made another appointment. And around this time, we started noticing that Norma couldn't eat solid foods. Like she would try to eat one in a piece whole, but she couldn't keep it in her mouth long enough. So we switched over to canned food, and she ate every 3-ounce can we gave her, one in the day, one in the night. But as we got closer to that next vet visit, we noticed that she wasn't eating all of it. And she got even more distant from us, which scared me more. But I was hopeful. And so then we took her to the vet as scheduled. He didn't do any work on her. He didn't do any, it was late. They were about to close. It was on a Friday, I think. And they said to bring her back on Monday, and they would sedate her and look at her mouth, because they believed that there may have been whatever gland provides the saliva. I can't think right now. They thought that was blocked. And waiting for that day was the worst weekend, because you could tell she was getting worse. On Saturday, I stayed up a little later than normal. My wife went to bed, and I decided I was going to go lay in the the living room with Norm on the couch, and I noticed she was drooling still. She looked miserable, and I decided to lay on the couch that night, and she snuggled up right next to me. And I woke up the next morning, she was still snuggled there. She was still there with me. So come Monday, I couldn't take her to the vet myself, so Maddie had to take her to the vet. It would be hours till I heard anything, and at the 2 o'clock break, I got a phone call. And I was hoping, they found the problem in her tongue, and they unblocked whatever's blocking that gland. And the vet told me, Mr. Dawkins, I don't have any good news for you. He said it was cancer, and her tongue was riddled with it. I'll post I'll pop up this picture of her tongue right here. I mean, no wonder she was miserable. And I feel so bad I didn't take her sooner. On the phone with the doc, I tried to see if we can possibly work something out to where she could possibly live a little longer, and we could just like trade her and whatnot. And he pretty much told me that if she was his cat, he would go for euthanasia. So I got off work at 3. I told Maddie to meet me at the vet. Both me and her went back there with Norm. And you could tell Norm was still suffering. She wouldn't come out of that cat carrier we brought. When the doctor came in, he told us there were some options. One, we could cut her tongue out. She could still eat, but when it comes to drinking, she would need help with that. I was not a fan of that. And on top of that, he also said that the cancer could have already spread to the rest of her body, so it seemed like there was no point there. The second one was to just pretty much treat it as a hospice situation and give her pain medicine and make her comfortable to the very end. But he said the medicine wasn't cleared for cats to use, and so she could experience liver failure or kidney failure, which that's just even more agonizing for her. So out of all the solutions, every single one of them was either going to prolong the misery and also lower her quality of life. So me and Maddie made the very tough decision to put her down. Now, I'm also going to go into detail. So if you have trigger warnings, this is your time to back off. I explained to the doctor that we should do it. And he goes, okay, well, we can either do it now or we can wait till tomorrow. I said, well, doc, if she's that bad off and she's suffering, we just need to go ahead and do it. I said, but I do need a few minutes with her. He said, fair enough, that's fine. So he left, tended to other patients, other cats, other dogs. I tried to get Norma out of the cat carrier to hang out with us, and I tried to hold her. But she ran back in that cat carrier where it was comfortable. That's all she wanted to do was be comfortable. She wasn't with that fucking tongue. I got one last picture of her before we decided to get the doctor. We called him in, and he comes back with some needles and a paper for me to sign. And on that paper it said, do I want to cremate her or collect her remains? And I originally thought about cremating her, but I knew if I had a box with me the entire time, I couldn't let that go. I'd be holding on to that box 24/7. So I decided to bring the remains with me. So he gives her the first shot, which made her calm, but she was so scared. After the first shot, she went to the very back of that cat carrier and balled up. And you could tell she was starting to ease, starting to calm down, starting to relax. He comes back about 10 minutes later with the second shot. Both her and his assistant take her out of the carrier, lay her on her side on the table, and I guess she was trying to fight it because her two front paws were paddling. That was so hard to watch. And then they try to hold her and try to find the vein to put the last shot in. And they couldn't. And at some point, they decided to make her even more comfortable. They took the blanket out of the carrier and laid her on it. At this point, I positioned myself to where Norma was looking at me so she could see me. They finally found the vein, gave her the shot, and I was looking at her eyes. She was looking at me. And then she she left while looking at me. We took the body back and I buried her right here. I put these stones the very next day. I'm not done with this either. I still got a plaque coming in to put right in the middle with her name on it and an engraving of her. I can't begin to describe the pain that I'm in. This hurts almost as the same as when my dad passed because I know it's two different things. This is a cat, that was my dad. But this creature looked up to me for help. I was his caretaker, I was his guardian. And when it came to the end, I couldn't help fix her cancer. And I'm having a really difficult time trying to understand what to do next. Because in a very strange way, it still feels like I'm still responsible for her. And it feels like she still needs me. So, so for the past 2 days, I've came out here with her just to talk to her. Because I don't want to have my sweet baby alone. This sweet little creature. I can't believe she's gone. I have so many regrets, but I'm just so glad she's not suffering anymore. I could have taken the selfish way out and made her suffer until the cancer killed her. I knew that wouldn't be good for her. So instead, I put her down and I buried her with the blanket she laid in. Because I wanted her to be comfortable and like it fucking matters, right? She's dead. Why does it matter? I know I'm rambling at this point, but I just I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say. Like I still have to go to work. I can't really function that well at work. I'm a dad, so I gotta be there for my daughter and perk up and not cry in front of her, which that's also been very difficult. I used to have all these little side projects I do and have fun and do stuff. Now all my free time, I just want to be with her. I literally just got home, just grabbed the tripod and turned the camera on. Because all I wanted to do when I got home was be next to Norma. Maddie's not home yet. She's still at her parents with Violet. So I just wanted to be here. But there's one thing I want people to know. Just how awesome of a cat she was. She was more than just a cat. She was my best friend. She was my partner in crime. We've been through so much together. She was there when my dad died. She seen me graduate. She's been through 2 marriages and she saw my firstborn daughter. And just like that, she's gone. I don't know what else to do. I know it's only been a couple of days since, but I don't see a part of this where it gets better. It genuinely feels like an actual part of me is gone. And it's hard for me to talk about it to people because it's always like, what? It's a cat. Or people just don't want to hear it. But I did make a Facebook post the day she died, and I made it public, and I didn't quite realize how far that went. I've had random strangers show so much love and so much kindness for my situation. So, for people who are subscribed to the channel here, I don't know if I'll ever come back or when I'll come back. I just know that this is all I care about right now. It's like a it's like a child died. It's like my child died. My first, technically, it's the first creature I took care of. My first real pet. I wasn't there to help her. There's nothing I can do. So, I don't know what else to say. When I get this finished, I'll make a post about it on Facebook, Instagram, or on the YouTube community stories, whatever it's called. But I hope someone can relate to this. And all that I want is if you have a cat or a dog at home, hold on to them tight. Because you'll never know when they're going to be gone, when they're going to leave. And if you're in my situation, it was out of nowhere. It kind of wasn't, but I didn't think it'd be cancer. So thank you all for watching. I'm gonna turn the camera off now. And I'm gonna talk to my sweet baby for a little bit. My sweet fur baby. My little Norm.